If weight loss for you feels hard nowadays, even though you are trying harder and harder and harder to lose the weight, this episode is for you. Today, we are talking about 12 weight loss mistakes that midlife women often make due to really bad, outdated advice. Advice that does not fit our midlife bodies. Welcome to Healthier Midlife, the podcast for women who want real, natural solutions to feel strong, calm, and confident in their bodies again. I'm Christine Roberson, a certified nutrition consultant and health coach. Let's dive in. Weight loss in our midlife years is less about doing more and more about doing things differently, with more support, more consistency, and more patience. And that is what the weight loss coaches and the personal trainers at your gym are not telling you. So I have compiled a list of 12 mistakes that I see that midlife women are making with their weight loss due to these outdated, debunked recommendations that we're getting. And these are in no particular order. So don't worry about the biggest mistake versus the least biggest mistake. They're all equally the same. The first mistake that we make is we are expecting our bodies to respond the way that it did when we were in our 20s and 30s. I've been guilty of this myself. I think, oh, well, this used to work for me 20, 30 years ago, so obviously it'll work for me now. And if it doesn't work for me, I must be doing something wrong. But you know what? Our bodies are different now. And what worked for us in our 20s and 30s when we had all the estrogen we needed and it was fighting and keeping our cortisol levels down, that was a different body than what we have today. Today, our bodies just respond more slowly, and that's totally normal. And fat loss now is more about consistency and recovery than intensity. So a slower weight loss doesn't mean that you are flawed or that you are doing things wrong. It just means your body has different priorities now. The second mistake I see a lot is eating too little for too long. We've all done this, and we've seen our mothers do this too. We think if we can just keep restricting our calories and reducing our meal sizes down enough that we will lose weight. And really, we're sending a signal to our bodies that it's not safe, and that is raising our stress hormone, cortisol, and your body just wants to hang on to the calories and the extra weight as a result. Really, we are self-sabotaging ourselves when we eat too little for too long. The third mistake, and it's very similar to the second one, and that is skipping meals, especially breakfast. Skipping meals is going to backfire on you. It's going to result in blood sugar crashes and energy crashes and brain fog, and spike up your cravings when you really don't need them, which is usually at night. In our midlife years, we need steadier fuel, and that means do not skip any meals, and also prioritize that breakfast. It really will help you with your energy levels throughout the day. The fourth mistake is underestimating stress. Stress isn't just emotional, it's also physical. Stress raises that cortisol level, and the cortisol tells your body to hang on to the fat. Ladies, there's no way you can out-diet a stressed out nervous system. Mistake number 5 is treating sleep like a luxury, not a requirement. Poor sleep actually literally increases your hunger hormone and your cravings, especially for carbs and sugar. If your goal is weight loss, sleep is not optional. It really is foundational. The sixth mistake I see often is not eating enough protein. And there's actually a couple of different requirements that are slightly conflicting. In the United States, the requirement is 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight for all adults, regardless of age and gender. In the European countries, their recommendation is 1.0 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. And they recommend that for women over the age of 50. So you can easily go online with a calculator if you are in the United States, and we are in the pound system, not the kilogram system. And you can convert what this means for you. You're going to want that goal for your daily protein intake to be anywhere between 0.8 and 1.0 grams per kilogram per day. And for a 150-pound woman, this is probably going to be at least 75 grams of protein to 100 grams of protein per day. Protein is important because it supports your energy levels, your satiety, your muscles, and your metabolism. And it helps with your blood sugar stability as well. And that is one thing that women in our midlife years, really all adults in their midlife years, really struggle with is blood sugar stability. Adding protein to every meal can really help those calories in that meal stick so that you don't feel hungry after a couple of hours. You feel fuller longer. Mistake number 7 is overcomplicating food. There are just too many rules, meal plans, resets, challenges, you name it. But here's what I have found to be the best for midlife women, and that is whole foods. Real, honest to goodness food that you recognize. Something that came in a box, a bag, or with a barcode is probably going to be processed food, and it's probably not going to be your healthiest choice. Instead, try for simple, whole food, easy meals. Our midlife bodies love predictability more than novelty and fads. Okay, that's 7 down. Here is number 8, and that is avoiding strength training. We are hearing more and more these days that strength training is very important in our midlife years, and that is 100% true. And if I am talking to my 50 and older girlfriends out there, I know that you grew up the same way I did, thinking that we didn't want to pick up weights and do any weightlifting because we didn't want to bulk up. And let me tell you, it would take a lot of work for us to bulk up, and nobody has time for that. I promise you, if you incorporate the recommended 60 minutes per week, not per day, 60 minutes per week, that's 6 10-minute sessions of weightlifting per week, you will not bulk up. Instead, you will be supporting your muscles and protecting your bones. You will also be increasing your metabolism. So it's not about bulking up, it's about getting more support in our bodies. Mistake number 9 is believing that intensity matters more than consistency. And by this, I'm talking about exercise, specifically aerobic exercise. Again, we are of the generation of jazzercise and Jane Fonda workouts. And we remember those days of all or nothing, complete burnout workouts. But the script has changed on us in our midlife years, and our bodies don't want it. Maybe they never did, but now our bodies are intolerant of it. Our bodies just want gentle, repeatable habits right now. And what you can do on your worst week matters more than what you can do in your best week. The 10th mistake I see is not planning for real life. And by this, I'm talking about not just exercise. You can plan for exercise, but you can also plan your meals. Failing to make a plan leads to more decision fatigue, which definitely leads to more overeating. And I hear this a lot, that a lot of women don't want to sit down and think about and plan out their meals every day because they feel like it's too restrictive. I think a better reframe of that would be that planning is more of how you show yourself self-care. It's not control. It's caring for our bodies and really caring and proving that what you eat matters to you. Because think about it. If you really cared and what you ate mattered to you, then it wouldn't make a difference if you were planning it ahead. I think a lot of times women get hung up on the meal planning is too restrictive because they don't want to admit that they want to eat the things that they know they shouldn't eat. For whatever reason that is. Maybe it's good for them, maybe it's not good for them. But planning really doesn't mean restriction. It means fewer decisions when you are tired. Okay, ladies, we have 2 more common mistakes to go. And number 11 is ignoring nutrient density. This one is very simple and also difficult for some people to follow. And that is fiber in food and colorful food are going to be the most nutrient dense foods for you. They naturally help regulate your appetite. So what are the foods with fiber and color? You guessed it, fruits and vegetables. And hey, our government says that you only need 5 servings of them a day. And it could be fruits, it could be vegetables, it could be a mixture. Just 5. And if you think about a serving as basically a handful of food, a handful of chopped carrots, a handful of blueberries, whatever, that's a serving. You could easily get that in one smoothie and you'd be done for the day. But I would say those 5 servings a day would be minimal for not only weight loss, but for just your general health and well-being. This isn't about being perfect with your eating. It's about giving your body really the nourishment that it needs to do what you want it to do. We have made it through 11 mistakes, but I have one more for you. And that is mistake number 12, measuring success only by your scale. Ladies, your scale does not measure your sleep quality. It does not measure your energy. It does not measure your mood. It does not measure your digestion. It does not measure your strength. It is just one snapshot of how much gravity is loving your body that day or that minute that you got on the scale. All of these other measurements, all of these other changes, the energy, the digestion, the strength, the sleep, the mood, all of this comes before weight loss does. So definitely pay attention to those NSVs, those non-scale victories, because they will tell you and paint you a more accurate picture of what is happening in your body than your scale can. So those are the 12 mistakes that I see women make in their midlife years with respect to weight loss and outdated recommendations we've been given. When women understand these 12 things, weight loss doesn't become a personal failure anymore. It really becomes a journey to health and wellness that feels much more doable. So this week, I invite you to try one simple experiment based on these 12 mistakes. It could be eating breakfast every day. It could be adding more protein to your meals. It could be planning your lunches for the week. maybe taking a 5 or 10 minute walk after dinner every night. It could even be going to bed 30 minutes earlier. You don't have to do them all, just pick one. And if this episode helped you better understand why your traditional weight loss methods are no longer working for you, consider heading over to my website and booking a free wellness call with me. It's at healthyhermidlife.com/coaching. My first wellness call is always free. It's about 20 to 30 minutes long, and together we'll talk about the problems that you're having, the issues that you're struggling with, and we will come up with a great action plan that you can implement immediately. Together, we will talk through and walk through energy, stress, food, and habits in a way that actually fits your life. Also, while you are on my website, go ahead and check out my free metabolic reset guide. It is at healthyhermidlife.com/reset. It is a free guide that will help you boost your energy levels and increase your metabolism so that you can lose that extra weight a little bit better. And it's totally free. And it's also a thank you for signing up for my free weekly email newsletter. All right, ladies, that's all I have for you this week. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, go ahead and give it a like and a share. It really does help me reach more amazing women just like you. If you are watching this on YouTube, consider subscribing to the channel. And if you are listening to this on your favorite podcast app, also follow the show and consider writing a positive review to help me reach more women. Thank you for joining me today, and I will see you next week on Healthy Her Midlife. Thanks for spending time with me on Healthy Her Midlife. If today's episode spoke to you, download your free Midlife Metabolic Reset Guide or book a coaching call at healthyhermidlife.com. See you next time.